Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Well, it's been coincidence after coincidence. Like this week we've had a retired Mandalorian map, a Tuesday request map from the retired Mandalorian, and then another request map today as voted in by the BonBon Buddies over on Patreon, which was originally requested by the retired Mandalorian. You want to throw in some more coincidences? Well, today's creator was reviewed as recently as last week, and that was the first time they appeared on the show. So it all falls into place sometimes, and you can't plan these things. Well, you can. I said that last time, but I haven't because I'm really not that organised. I'm really not that awake either, so if today's show goes badly wrong, it's because silly o'clock in the morning is a bad time to be doing voiceovers. But before we have a look at today's review, which is a real life location, I've got a real life task for you. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Biloxi Beach by I Can't Think of a Name, and if you recognise that name, it's from episode 1493, Between the Sulphur Rivers. Do you remember that? Yeah, of course you do. There's your start square. We got a little bit of beach, a little bit of beach there, and an intersection to talk about once we get down there. Terrain heights, very flat in the beachy areas because that's how it all lays out, isn't it? We've got loads of oil offshore today, some fertile land, plenty of forestry, a little bit of ore as well dotted around in odd places. Talk about that later. And then you've got your Sunset Harbour map in case you have fishing to do and Sunset Harbour to play with. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. There is also a one-click collection, nicely written short description there. There was apparently a problem, but that has been corrected, so all credit for I Can't Think of a Name for fixing the problems. But yes, always good to see once something's raised in the comments when the creator goes back and fixes that problem. In that one-click collection we have a few trees, a few roads and a few more trees there. We'll be using the temperate 4K coast theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT today. And I think that is about it covered. Oh, Tree Anarchy is in operation today. It's quite a little bit on the weighty side. And that's not a big problem with the map to have it a little bit on the weighty side, as long as you know before you start playing that it's a little bit on the weighty side. All that said, it doesn't really feel like it needs to be a little bit on the weighty side. Once you actually get a better look at the map, which you can't really do from this initial opening scene here, when you get a look at the overall view of the map, it could easily have been played out as being vanilla. It really could have been. You would have had to soften down the some of the tree painting to get it down under the limits, but I've seen this sort of map done accomplished in an accomplished way in vanilla. Now this first intersection, you're going to look at this and you're going to go, oh, that's not very efficient. There's going to be all sorts of traffic chaos there, and maybe there will be. Maybe there will be, but we're based on a real life location, Biloxi Beach in Mississippi, USA, and the intersection at that approximate point is approximately that sort of shape. I'm saying approximately because I think I Can't Think of a Name's just been a little bit creative with some of the intersections where they're not attempted to match them up like for like, but they've tried to go in the right sort of genre. So if we've got a clover leaf, they might do a sort of like a parclo or something of the swirly nature without it being a clover leaf. Or they're pretty much all solid intersections, although again they're not always going to be the most efficient. So it's little things to remember when we go down. If you're looking to do a one-to-one recreation of Biloxi Beach, you're probably going to want to rebuild the intersections. But if you want to do a one-to-one recreation, you're going to do a detailist map, you'd probably be relaying half the roads anyway, full stop, because we're all perfectionists when it comes to getting things exactly right, aren't we? Are we? I'm sure we are. Anyway, running along parallel with the beach now, the beach highway here. Now, there is an intersection down here which is right at the start of where the start square will begin. And it's a loop that loops out a trumpet. It's a trumpet, okay, that loops out into the bay, elevated into the bay. And that is there in real life, although the real life version is a little bit subtler. This isn't too bad. This could have been a lot more crazy, right? This one here, this could have been a lot more crazy than it appears, but the real life location one is just a little bit gentler. It doesn't jut out quite as far as that, and it's just a little bit softer on the eye, but it's about the same. I mean, it exists, so there's credit to be given for trying to recreate something that's there in real life, ballpark. And then that's your start square right there, okay? Right, so let's head back inland because we can. And then we've got things like these elevated highways. I'm not entirely sure how much of these roads are actually elevated in real life. I'm not going down so close. But we do cross waterways sort of like this in this area. So I imagine that these will be elevated. Oh, yes. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Driving through the old water like that underwater is... this is why cars are sealed, isn't it? Oh, James Bond's car. I know the one. Anyways, slightly clipping through tree there. That's not a big problem. That sort of thing happens where it just drops over a little bit. No, I can live with that. So anyway, yes, we've done I Can't Think of a Name once before. That was episode 1493. They got 10 stars. That was a 3, and then the 4 for gameplay. And today's map feels similar, and I think it's just an older map. I think that's a fair thing to expect, really. We normally, if this had been worse, it wouldn't have been a big worry, because I think that was actually a cloverleaf in real life, that intersection there, I think, from memory. But yes, given that we're actually going back in time, it'd be unfair to expect I Can't Think of a Name to have actually got better with this map. But anyway, now this bit of road here, we've got a little bit of a problem on. You probably see a little bit of glitching going along the side here. If we go down at ground level, you can just see it elevates and then comes back down, and it elevates. It's just breaking away from the terrain a little bit here and there. And that's one of a couple of this sort of level of problem. I mean, we're not talking huge problem. We're just talking niggly problems. And this map has a couple of them. That was probably, that's a blue mantle scenario, isn't it? If you get from the right angle, you definitely see through the terrain mesh there. So I guess that's the biggest problem on the map. But then we got another one, which I'll showcase as we get to the second half of the map, which I had to look into it. I was pretty sure I knew what I was looking for, and yeah, the real life location did show me to be correct. I do like this intersection here, though. This feels right. Absolutely right. Again, not great for traffic. I appreciate that. But that's how it is in real life. So if you can have intersections like that in real life, and and a little bit of terrain glitching just through there. If you have intersections like that in real life and you're going to recreate the area, I don't see a huge problem with it. Yes, it probably will eat into your gameplay scores if you're looking to do something similar. If you know that your city has got the worst intersection, or an intersection which is really good but doesn't work with Cities Skylines mechanics, sometimes it's probably better to bend the rules of realism just to make it work for gameplay. Because at the end of the day, this is a game. This is apparently it's a frustration that sometimes it really is. Anyway, we have rail. we have a couple of stretches of rail. This is the main one. This is going to lead you down into the start square. There are a couple of elevated sections here. I was a little bit worried about shipping routes coming through here. We'll check out for shipping routes in the second half of the show, because these got a road bridge running off to the left there at the same sort of height. So any shipping route coming up here will be a disaster. Yeah, do you think? Take your bets now, huh? Anyway, all good. And then, like I say, this runs through the start square. But yeah, Biloxi Beach is on the Mississippi coast, down in the Caribbean, and yeah, it's a nice, you know what, it's a nice shaped map. I'm going to say that one. You get maps like this sometimes, you go, yeah, I can see plenty of people wanting to build it. And the fact that it's kind of plain and flat and a little bit boring, from my viewpoint as a European, would definitely suit for that American grid city, which is how it should be. So I've got no issues with that either. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll take a very brief intermission in a moment, episode 1500, woo woo! So I think we'll celebrate that with a shout out for my Patreon page. Yeah, it's got to be done, doesn't it, I feel.
Don't be shy, 'cause I think you're beautiful, and I won't let you forget it. Don't be late, but I'll wait, and life won't bring you down too far, 'cause I just won't let it.
1500 episodes. I did think about doing a special for today, but I don't know. I think we'll save that for 2000, if we can get to 2000. Oh, I'm at my end already. I really am. Anyway, shipping. Yeah, we've got one shipping route that runs along the length of the beach. I thought it might want to go in around the end of this island, but it doesn't. But I don't think that's a problem. I think any placement of the harbour on the other side of that island would be okay. Water flow down in the start square. We've got a little bit of water flow there. It's probably strong enough to, you know, remove any issues about polluting your population. So yeah, there's water flow running along there. I think it's just water replacement from evaporation, but it works. So that's all that matters. Anyway, yeah, very interesting shaped map. I can't think of a name. Very interesting shaped map. Quite glad you have shared this one with us. The beaches are mostly excellent. I quite like that. It's good shape. I like the highway running along sort of on the beach as well. It's kind of a nice thing. And then as we go inland, we have all of the wetlands and lots of interesting shapes going on here as well. And I'm liking the tree coverage and the way that you've made it look as well. So there's all of that going for it as well. Now, you'll talk about beaches. This is more of a sandbank stroke island. Yep. Got a little bit of glitching going along here, which is just needs smoothing out. That is probably the worst part of the beaches. I mean, there are one or two bits that look a little bit awkward, but beaches can look awkward. But yeah, that little bit of glitching, very much an in-game thing. But I kind of like this island. But as it's a real life thing, I'd want it to be there anyway. Anyway, over here back, we've got more wetlands. Now, we've got a few minor issues with the wetlands. Now, not what you're expecting. You're thinking, drowned trees. And what about these? Are these? Do you know what? I'm good with all of that. All of that looks really good. We have got a few patches where there probably should be water, but there isn't. You see those? Yeah, I feel that those are... Well, they're missing spawn points. That's what they are. And they also need the trees removing if you add spawn points to them. Heading over here, we've got another couple over here. Easier to see over here with minus the trees. We have got some power lines down in place. And a few of these are just glitching a little bit into the environment. Like that. And there's probably a few more. Yeah, a few more down here as well. Just digging in. These were drawn out just a little bit on the quick side, not gone back and checked. So that's a little unfortunate. But yeah, we've got the wind farm down there. Here's that other stretch of rail I was talking about. Broken bridge and, well, broken rail line. I don't know if that's there in real life. I couldn't find it, but I can't imagine. I imagine it has to be there. It has to be there, doesn't it? It's no way it can't be. But one way or another, I don't mind it. Then also we got power lines running along here. These also are glitching a little bit into the environment, but like the clearings. Now these little squares here, having had a look on the real life map, there are some private, well, what I'm assuming are private little lakes going on up there, and they fit as well. And then we've got some more wetland areas down here by the coast, which also are missing a little bit of water in them as well. But they're painted with ore, so maybe they're intentionally left empty, possibly. Anyway, what more have we got to check out? I think we're about done. So what we'll do is we'll head down to the start square. We've got an absolute beaut of an asset of the day from the most famous of the current creators that there is. Yeah, it's Smilies, and this is the Grant Park Village. This is just a beautiful thing. Just a beautiful thing. It's the under the sub-level parking. It's not really a sub-level, but you'll see what I mean. We'll go and do a little drive-through on that in a minute. Anyway, factoids because factoids. I know nothing about Biloxi Beach, so I did a little Google, and normally it comes up with the wiki page. But one of the questions that came up to my Google was, why is Biloxi Beach so dirty? And apparently the answer is, Mississippi has some of the dirtiest beaches in the nation due to fecal bacteria. Oh, lovely. Do love a bit of fecal bacteria. Mississippi's beaches aren't exactly known for having the cleanest water. However, you may be surprised to learn just how unclean the water actually is. And that's about as far as I could be bothered to read. I'm assuming, there we go, just love this under level here. I'm assuming it's because we've got a big old river, which is taking an awful lot of stuff. The placement of these parking bays is amazing as well. Credit there. But yes, I imagine we've got the big old river, the Mississippi, and it's taking a lot of dirt down through the continent, and that's probably why the area is so dirty. Anyway, that's my opinion. Grant Park Village by Smilies. That is really nice. I don't know what's so surprised about the parking placements between the pillars, because this is Smilies, right? But anyway, credit there. Right, okay. You still here? You interested in voting today? Are you? Are you really? Good. Well, it's your chance now. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or the link in the description will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Is this a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. It does. But what do I think of today's map? Well, it's okay. I'm like, do you know what? It's a really good location to choose. Credit for that one. I don't think it really shines. There's a lot of effort gone in, but it hasn't quite been raised to the next level, and unfortunately that's going to leave it just above middle 3. Detailing, do you know what? There's some good work on here, but there's some stuff holding it back. And while I'm looking at it going, I'd like to just get it, it could push up to that 4-star line, but the bits holding it back are holding it right back, so I'm going to go just a smidge over middle 3. Gameplay, very playable. Okay, very playable. Going to work for if you're going to recreate the zone, do a build, grid city, interesting shapes. Low 4. Can't go any higher than that because there are things to fix and potential traffic issues. Biloxi Beach by I Can't Think of a Name is a good location. I am really pleased that you've shared that with us, and maybe we'll check out. I've definitely got at least one more of your maps on the request list, or the long list, to look at, so it might take a while to get to the top, or we might even see some of your stuff in the near future while we're still young. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. If you are still here, you are part of the 20 and out elite. Use the word of the day, score yourself some population points just for fun, and I'll be back tomorrow with the Saturday map, and it's by one of the big names.